Well, this time, guys, I'm setting myself up for less work. I've rolled the plastic up and used rubber straps, rubber tie downs to keep it in place. This time, or this way, I just have to undo the straps, roll the plastic out, and I'm leaving the stakes in place as well. Where are they? Here. All the stakes, because now it's going to be a nightly process pretty much. So I've just rolled the plastic up and left it in place, and I don't have to worry about figuring out what goes where each time. I'm going to go in and get a basket here in a minute and harvest all the tomatoes that are falling. Some of the plants are holding up. See, this vine is dead, so I guess we take the ones that fall off, and anything that's holding on we leave on. Some are still growing, some are not. So I've got a little bit to harvest here, and some of these are still alive, and as long as it's alive, I'm gonna continue to try to nurture the plants. You know, we'll get whatever harvest we can. See, these are still growing. So that one here is all dead, all rotted. But you know, we'll do what we can and try to salvage some harvest from our garden. And then the peppers, last night I left to nature. I'm going to harvest these tomatoes. And then the ones that are rotting go to the chickens. Like, these didn't fall off the vine, but they're rotting. I've got to check. They're no good. They're definitely harmed. So those will go to the chickens. I'm going to have 2 baskets, one for the chickens and one for us. These I'm going to harvest off the dead plant and take them in. So I'm going to have a large basket. And then we'll harvest some peas. Now over here, our zucchini is still growing, because I've been protecting this every night, and we're still getting fruit. There's a big one almost ready, and there's a little one. There's a bunch of them. This plant is really productive. This plant has really been very productive. Even though it's suffered a lot of harm, it's still alive and growing for us. So I'm gonna protect it and care for it. And we've got this big monster thing, which has been taking some damage at night as well, but it's still growing this massive something or other. I don't even know what it is. I really don't, but it's huge, and I hope that we can bring it to what do you call it, harvest. Hopefully I'll be able to keep it alive, and it's on a higher spot too, so we'll see how it works out. And then I've got peas. We drape the plastic over them at night, and I showed you that yesterday. I won't bore you, but I'm going to harvest the peas, and we still got babies coming, so we still have flowers, so they're very good. Well guys, there's a nice scream container full of what is that, a gallon of tomatoes. Some were ripening, some were not. I picked off entirely the plants that are going to die. We're going to have another freeze the next 3 nights in a row. So I'm reducing my amount of work I have to worry about, stripping off plants that I'm leaving to die. And some of the cherries are falling off on their own. Well, there's a few. There's enough for 1 meal, and then there's some seeds for next year. And it's slowing down, but we're still getting some peas. Our herb garden is still doing very well, and the cabbage is loving this cooler weather. Melanie harvested some bok choy entire plants the other day. She's going to harvest the rest of these, I guess, as we eat them. So we're doing good. The mint grew better and spread out wider than I thought they would. I did not expect that in one season. So next year we're going to have to do some thinning. We've been eating the sage and using it for cooking. Melanie is awesome in the kitchen. I've got another harvest of chamomile. Like I keep saying, the best I've ever had for chamomile. Never had such success before. And then I think I'm going to take these 2 large pots up into the porch, because this lemon verbena or verbena, however you say it, is one of my favorite plants. It becomes a big shrub if you can keep it alive. And then we've got some other various herbs and stuff in here, and this one here. So I'd like to protect these and preserve them. We'll take them up onto the porch. They're definitely worth saving. This one especially is worth saving all year. If I have to, I might even put that into the house to overwinter. I think there's chamomile. Yeah, there's chamomile in here, but it never did anything this year. These ones are just hanging over from the main bush over there. Maybe next year I'll just plant these outdoors and separate the plants from different types, because I love this so much. I love the smell. Even our flowers are looking happier. Everything is just, I don't know. The cooler weather is a little bit better for the flowers and plants, for some of them, except for the basil. And the, what was that one? Pineapple sage took a hit. We're going to trim the wounded parts off. What are we doing here, Melanie?
I'm gonna cook. I'm cooking a grilled chicken.
Obviously not for one meal.
No. Well, this one is for just marinating. And then this one is for us. I'm gonna eat because we are 2.
Uh-huh. So we're putting some away for later, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, interesting. Melanie has got her outdoor kitchen. I'm helping to clean up. We're taking all the plants out right now into the sun. They'll have to come back again tonight. Actually, I'm thinking about putting them in the camper for now.
Yeah, that's good.
Then they're off the porch and they're safe from the elements. Problem is, in the camper, we'd have to take them out to water them. So maybe not such a good idea. Anyway, we'll get all these off the porch here and clean up her kitchen area. All this everywhere. And make room for cleaning. I'm also working in the garage and cleaning up there a little bit more after the garage sale. Oh, look what Melanie did today. We eat like kings here. And queens. Melanie's a queen of the house. Thank you, Melanie.
You're welcome.
Well, guys, today is all about the garden. Since we have so many tomatoes, and I am trimming and pulling off green tomatoes, we went and got 2 bags of onions, 3 packages of red pepper, some jalapeno peppers, and some cilantro. And Melanie's going to take about 5 to 8 pounds, I think it's going to be 8 pounds of green tomatoes, and we're going to make a green tomato salsa. It looks like it's going to be a very large batch when you consider how much ingredients we have here, along with 8 pounds of tomatoes. Now, we do have a deep freeze warning tonight. Finally, we did get a warning. So I've got to really tie things up. Today has literally been all about the garden. I was working out there all morning, pulling out dead stuff and cleaning and trimming and stuff. And I'm also going to run a wire up over the tomatoes to support the plastic to keep it off the plants. And I showed you out back. It's all about the garden. That's all I'm doing today. I know I'm not showing a lot of video, but it's a lot of running around. So Melanie's going to be doing this, so you'll probably see that on her channel if she decides to record all that. But she will be, probably not today yet, but we've got the ingredients together so she can start preparing it. Off the porch today, and I've got all the tomatoes here. They were getting some sunlight, which they badly need. And then I've got all my chilies here. I think there's another one over there. All my peppers and chilies, so they got some sunlight. I'm going to water these heavily, but the shadows are getting long now. Earlier, getting darker earlier, so I'm going to have to get these watered right away, heavily, and then we'll be putting it back in on the porch tonight. Now, I mentioned we were cleaning the porch. It's a little bit chaotic. I've got a lot of junk under here. From the garage sale. We jammed everything under here so the garage would be empty. Now I've got to start clearing this all out again and putting stuff away where it goes. But in all the plants, there was nowhere to walk here. It was all plants. Be again tonight. This will all be plants, so I'm going to stack our chairs up and get everything out from off the porch so we can shove them all up in here and keep them safe. Here you might see it's a little bit thicker. I brought over the corn. There's 4 pots of corn which are over here, and I'm going to have to water them because it was supposed to rain and it didn't. I've got to harvest the chamomile now. That's going to be next, and I've got the sweet potatoes up here. And then we'll run this big tarp over the top. Melanie and I will again tonight after the sun is down. And then we'll, there's a lot going on. And then that'll be safe from the freeze tonight. All these stakes keep the tarp from touching anything and protects all my plants. Hey guys, I want to tie a rope along above the tomatoes in hopes of keeping the plastic from touching the tomatoes, and the idea here is then we'll hopefully keep the tomatoes from freezing. I'm learning as I go a little bit more each time here, so I'll get better and better. Let's take up ends. That's much better. That's better. I'll stick out the other side. Well, ready for another cold night. A lot less work with the abandoned vegetables here. The peas aren't looking so good because the plastic is ripped up badly. I'm protecting my various squash type plants. So, well, that's as good as I can do. Good night, everybody. Troy from the Do-It-Yourself World and the Off-Grid Project. Look at that, guys. 43 degrees at 8:30 at night. It is cold. It's going to be a really cold one. I bet it's in the 20s now. Now, I've had it back and forth with somebody in an email for a long time now about he's calling me a liar because I guessed when I was out in the cabin. I just guessed, a wild guess, saying it's going to be 30 degrees tonight. I didn't know it was going to be 30 degrees. The prediction was for 41 or 39 or something in Lewiston. I'm guessing we're going to have 28. Now I'm saying it right here in front of everybody. I'm guessing, this is just a wild guess, it's probably going to be in the 20s tonight. Doesn't make me a liar or anything. It's just a lucky guess if I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If I'm right, I'm right. This is a guess. Just a guess, people.